This guy went from a chef in culinary arts to a custom apparel shop co-owner. And his story on how he got there is pretty exciting. What's up, you guys? My name is AJ DeAndrea. Welcome back to the Monday Mindset, a series where we talk with business owners, creators, and just cool people in general. And we do this to get value and learn a few things from people that have experienced life. Today, we got to talk with my friend Jose from SP Custom Apparel, and we talked about some great things, such as how he deals with all the orders that he gets, changing your careers, and many other things. So without further ado, because my camera's dying, let's get right into the video.
Hey guys, it's Jose here at Shell Prosper Barb Company, co-owner of SP Custom Apparel. I'm gonna show you guys around, so come check us out. So over here we have the barber side. A lot of our barbers cut here. More of a private suites for all the barbers. A couple suites there. Real cool suite here, Kevel Cut. Shout out to him. Over here is the custom apparel side. This is mainly where I'm at every day. As you can see, I have my embroidery machines. They're working on a couple hoodies for Shell Prosper. We have our vinyl cutters over here. These machines do anything from stickers, decals, wall graphics, car decals.
I gotta say, this is a really cool setup. I like how there's so many moving elements to the shop. You guys got the custom apparel. You guys got barber suites, right, if I'm correct?
Barber suites on this side, yes sir. Yeah.
And you got, you know, just the regular shop. I know that you have a partner and you're a manager. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so his name is Victor. Everybody knows him as Vic Shell Prosper on Instagram. So me and him, we've been friends for a long time. We kind of became best friends throughout the years and everything. And then a couple years back, he wanted to start his own business, which is Shell Prosper Barber Company. You know, started off real small, you know, a little space, and you know, I've always been there supporting him and whatnot. Coronavirus hit, and I was out of a job. So I had no job. My background's a little different than what I'm doing now. So he's like, man, you know, he was starting the barber shop. He's like, man, I really want to start a brand, clothing brand. I think you're the person to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, we started SP Custom Apparel. And
that's awesome. By the way, that was Vic that just passed.
Yeah, that was him right there,
behind
the scenes, yeah.
I appreciate them for letting me come out and to have a conversation with you guys. You guys have so much going on. I know you do the custom stuff, but you also manage the barbershop from what I understand, right?
Yep, so when he's not here, you know, he's doing a lot of different things, you know, working with other businesses, other hair companies and whatnot. So I'm mostly here every day, and I manage the barbershop. I run things around here and make sure everything is, you know, good and everybody's doing what they're supposed to. And
okay,
you know,
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So how does the barbershop play into feeding the business for the actual apparel that you guys do?
Man, the barbershop feeding into the SP Custom Apparel plays a huge part. It's such a big part that when we first started the SP Custom Apparel branch, we were in a little room, super small, you know, smaller than a bedroom. We weren't getting a lot of business. There was a lot of word of mouth, and it was okay. You know, we were happy with the sales that we were getting. Yeah. It wasn't enough to pay me or pay him or pay any bills.
Break even almost,
so once we moved into this spot last year, which we just made a year in November, in this location, thank you. Once we came into here, it played a huge part. Sales increased dramatically, and that's mostly in part by all the barbers that we have now, how big we have grown. The barbers help out a lot as far as sales and as far as recommending us, you know, just putting the word out there, word of mouth.
I feel like it's genius because you always hear the barbershop talk, right, as a joke. Like I remember even back then when I was getting my haircut, there used to be people coming in all the time that would sell to the barbers, but you would hear the people in the corner be like, hey, well, what did you say about that? Or you know, it's that. When people see something, I feel like that's when you really sell them on it.
Yep.
Is when they see the process, they're like, look at the quality of everything that's being put out.
Yep.
And I think that that's just genius, like on your guys' end, to be right involved, right in the center of it, because you can make the sale right there.
Yeah, exactly. And then when people see you actually working on something and that something catches their attention, it's sold. Especially when they're looking for a hat or a sweater or even just a gift for someone. Yeah. And they see me actually doing it for somebody else, they're like, oh, well, I need that too. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's easy because the quality speaks for itself, obviously. So like, let's just put this out here. I'm actually wearing something that was made here by Jose here. It's awesome.
Thank you.
And I know you guys got this is all stuff you made too as well.
This is these are our new apparel that we're launching right now.
That's sick.
oversized pre-wash hoodies.
Yeah.
Kind of an oversized fit. We got the hats. We do.
That's all like, that's an actual stitching, right?
Yeah,
That's
all embroidery is what I do on hats. I don't really do any type of vinyl or anything. It's just strictly embroidery.
Yeah. You said you didn't specialize in the t-shirt business at first. Like, where did you start?
My background, fresh out of high school, I guess, was culinary.
Oh, really? Wow.
Mainly, I took culinary classes back in high school. So that was, my dad was kind of a chef back in the day as well. My focus and kind of my, I guess, passion at the time was food and, culinary, just because I was in that environment for so long since I was a kid. And, straight out of high school, I went to culinary school, did that for a couple years. And then ever since then, I was doing it for about 10 years.
Oh, wow. So you were doing that for a long time before you switched over?
Yeah, I was doing culinary, working in the kitchens, golf clubs, fine dining restaurants, breweries, barbecue house.
Oh, wow.
I was doing a little bit of that, for...
But like, what eventually drew you in? Because I know you said you didn't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
So where were you working, and how did that all happen?
I guess, to be honest with you, I kind of lost my passion for food a little bit. Yeah. It's okay. I was at a point in my life where I kind of wanted to get out of that environment and do something else, just because it is a little bit hard being in the kitchen behind the stove, all day and whatnot. And, I don't know, my goals started kind of to change. I had my guy Vic. He's really the one that had this vision for me. He's the one that kind of saw me doing this, the apparel stuff. I had no idea what an embroidery machine was or how you put a logo on a hat. I had no knowledge of any of that stuff. So slowly I started just picking it up, and I looked into it and fell in love with it.
So learning at that level, right? I'm sure that there's a lot of things you have to overcome as far as like the quality of the shirts, knowing what to order, because I'll be honest with you, I literally shot you a text when I put in the order, and I was just like, hey, can I just get a hoodie?
Yeah.
And you picked out the hoodie, you picked out the really quality hoodie, by the way. I've watched this multiple times. It works out. It's like really good. The stitching is held up beautifully.
Thank you.
What did it take to get to that, from like starting to that level of quality? Like, how was that for you?
I think when we first started, like I said, I fell in love with it. Right when we bought the machine, I started actually working with it, and then seeing what these kind of machines can do. Yeah. My main goal was just kind of be the best. I wanted to put out the best quality garments for, all of my customers. I didn't want to go with just the basic kind of stuff that everybody can get.
You obviously do a lot here, not only just with the apparel, but with the stuff. What's been your hardest challenge throughout all this?
When I first started, it was extremely hard because I had no knowledge of anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm self-taught in embroidery. It was a lot of just learning, going online, searching how people do it. It was difficult in the beginning. Yeah. But I love this so much because what I learned is that no matter how hard something can be, as long as you have the passion for it and the determination to win and get ahead, you can learn anything. I feel unstoppable at times because I do think about that every day. Well, I had a culinary background and I went and did something completely different, fashion. The biggest thing that I've learned is that if you got a love for something, you could do it.
I think this is kind of an interesting story because I relate to it so much. I started in music. Everything I built was in music. Yeah. I had a studio down the street. The reason I like this a lot is because I think about those days where I had the studio and where I'm doing now, right? Which is social media work for like actual companies and stuff. Contrary, I had a little bit of experience with actually doing marketing for companies, but I was away from it for so long. It's so interesting to see like how you could be doing something one year and the next year is completely different. Yeah. So I think it's an inspirational story for many people because there's a lot of people out there, I feel like sometimes, that are stuck into their field. What advice would you have for somebody that's stuck and wants to make that jump but is hesitant to do so?
And I've had a couple of people actually come up to me here and be like, hey man, I'm trying to do what you're doing. How do I start? What do I do? Yeah. And I tell them very basic answer. Just go ahead and start it. Just do it. Look up some videos on YouTube. Go to a print shop and see how, how they do things. What kind of machines do they have? What is being put on hoodies and t-shirts? How is it being made? You really just got to go out there and learn it. And you got to actually do it physically. Absolutely. Because if you don't try it, you don't know if you're going to like it. For me, I didn't know I was going to like this much. I had no idea. I had no idea what it took, how things were going to be made, or I didn't know how long I was going to take to make it. I think that whoever's trying to do something or change their career path and they're not really sure what direction to go, you just got to kind of try different things. It'll click. It's just kind of a click that happens. Yeah. You're like, man, I could do this. I could do this forever. Oh, yeah. And, I can honestly say that about this. That's awesome. I could be here day and night. If I didn't have to sleep or eat, I would be here.
Yeah. No, and that's the cool part. You brought up a good point. Just get started.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest saying too, is that with anything, it's just when I was switching around so much, especially early last year. Last year was like a whirlwind of stuff. I was doing like 4 different careers, seriously, at one time, and none of them were taking off because I had just left music, so I was scrambling to find something. I didn't want to go back to the workforce, so I wanted to like keep it going and keep it rolling. And it took a lot of discovery finding the actual passion where it's like I tried real estate for a while, got my license, and I went there and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. I thought I would, but I didn't end up liking it. So I was like, I got to try something. I got to try to find what I was liking because I know it's not music. Trust me, I had enough. Then, you know, walking into like social media or having some guidance because I remember you said you had Vic kind of like guide you into, hey, maybe this is good for you. It's kind of like a similar situation. I had a few friends that kind of told me like, hey, you know, you're really good at this. You're really good at the social media. You're really good at the graphics. You should be doing this.
Yeah.
Even though that you love what you do, I'm sure that you face challenges on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're facing some of those challenges? Like, what's your way to get into the mindset that, hey, doesn't matter, I have to get this done?
That happens almost on a day-to-day basis. There's clients that come in and hey, I need 10 shirts by 2 days from now. So we're in a month where we're extremely busy.
Oh, yeah.
Even after the holidays, sometimes, you know, people will order, let's say 10 shirts in this specific color. They're not in stock. They're not in stock in Illinois. I got to order from Ohio. You know, so then you go with the customer, hey, it's going to be, you know, this time frame, or even paying an extra shipping just so I could get it here faster by their deadline. Is something that I do a lot as well.
Your stress management throughout that, is it just kind of like something that you just like, hey, I got to figure it out somehow, or like, what do you do to manage that?
That's something that I'm still kind of learning to manage, just because there's days I have so much stuff going on, so many different orders, emails, texts, phone calls, people walking in, but I do write everything down. You know, I use my phone, physical notebook. I write all my orders down, you know, one by one. So that's kind of how I deal with the stress, and I just take it day by day. You know, you gotta get the orders out. You know,
Absolutely.
You gotta keep going. I think the biggest advice or kind of feedback I give to the viewers is that, like I said, I went from culinary to fashion, which is something completely different. It was a little terrifying to start something new, and I did do it without, you know, getting compensated for a long, long time. With that being said, I think that sacrifice means everything. It has a lot to do with, you know, how far you're willing to go. You know, you got to be willing to sacrifice it all, you know, to get to the top.
And just following up with that before we close out, so you said that you went a long time without getting paid and stuff like that. Like, it took sacrifice to get there.
I went a couple years with just paying my bills, having money just for bills.
Just enough.
And then some days having not even money for the bills.
Yeah.
But I was trying to learn this. I was trying to really perfect it.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I knew, you know, my guy, Vic, you know, he would just always tell me, you know, the money's going to come in, man. The money's going to come in. You know, just, you got to keep going.
Thank you again, man. I just got to say, I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, brother.
Make sure you guys tap in. Shop Prosper. They got the barber studio. They got the suites. And most importantly, the custom apparel. And that's what we're representing. All made, like I said, this has been washed many times. It's been on many sites with me.
Nice.
Check out the stuff. We'll put a video in there.
Sir.
We'll make sure to tag the socials.